Hello, welcome back to Squashwarp in Kerbal Space Program. I'm Luke, and we're with the space bus returning to Kerbin. As usual, I'm going to turn the music off immediately. My hope today is to get to more of the Minmus base stuff. Where is Kerbin? I don't know where it is. Ah, there it is. So I think we're going to get to some of the Minmus base stuff, but I said that last time and it didn't happen, so we'll find out. But the next thing on our docket is coming back to Kerbin. Is that really our burn? I guess we're changing our inclination a lot. Let's go do it. I feel like doing an inclination change at Periapse is probably the least efficient thing I could have done. I don't remember why I planned it that way, but just I performed the burn as it had been planned so that I didn't get confused. We're rendezvousing with Manticore, I believe. Let's just assume that that's what I did. That was pretty good, if I do say so myself. Okay, let's dock. Docked. Fuel transfers. Fuel transfers complete. Now we're going to depart the space station because there's no need to send everything to the space station. We actually just... What did I just press? Oh, I pressed the Windows key instead of the Alt key. We actually don't... Oh, wrong way. I hate when we control from the wrong place. We don't want to send all of our parts-heavy colonization stuff to Manticore and lag the game down even more. We just want to rendezvous with the space bus. So I'm going to get us into a different orbit. And then we can rendezvous. Free from lag. We've got one thing that we can launch, but I think most of the pieces are not yet ready. So we might time warp for a while. I might check labs for a bit. So hiatus, I'll be right back. The next batch of colony parts is ready to go to Minmus. Let's get this out there. This doesn't have to go to the space bus. This can fly itself there. Here we go. What was that? Well, thankfully, I actually quick saved as we were descending, so let's try loading that, because it just completely flipped out. That I haven't seen a bug like that in this entire install. That was amazing. But we had a really good descent. I'm glad I quick saved that. This is interesting. Okay, there we go. Just open these parachutes. Look at that. We landed right by the Space Center. I'm not going to time accelerate this time. I will in the video. Let's see if we completely spaz out and end up looking at the bottom of the ocean again. No, I have to time accelerate. I can't just sit here and fall for 500 meters at 5 meters a second. Let's see. Alright, we made it, and we didn't sink to the bottom of the ocean and obliterate ourselves. Now I go through the loading screens. I cut the loading screens. Look, you can even see the VAB from here. Recovered. Okay, here's our spaceship. Let's go out to Minmus. I used one of these KW rocketry engines that I've been avoiding. I've been avoiding the KW rocketry engines because when you look at the stats for the KW engines, they're just slightly better than anything else you can get. And I felt like I didn't want mods that just made the game easier, like more convenient. Yes, like I absolutely use all these readouts and tools that make the game more convenient, but I didn't want overpowered engines. But we've reached the point of the game where we're going to be using overpowered engines no matter what, so I'm letting myself start to use KW engines. Let's go out to Minmus. I cut out the messing around with the maneuver nodes because I was experimenting trying to get a faster transfer, and it just wasted a bunch of time. All right, let's do this maneuver. All right, we're on our way to Minmus. I think we've got a spaceplane launch coming up. Okay, this is the second Owlbear colony mission. Let's go. All right, we're in orbit. I think what I might do, if I remember, is to start playing the spaceplane launches at 12 times time acceleration instead of 8, because they do take a while, and we see them often. Now, I realized that I think I forgot to grab the adapter for the space bus, so I think I have to do some extra orbital maneuvers with the space bus to get the adapter. So stand by. I'm going to do that fast. I never really explain my orbital maneuvers anymore, but it's because we've seen them so many times. But I transferred into a much higher orbit than Manticore so that it catches up on me, because I don't want to chase it. It's got to go all the way around. Now we're going to match inclinations by burning normal at the descending node. And then I build a maneuver that will rendezvous with it, and I just kind of fast forward. There's a button that lets you make your maneuver happen on future orbits, and I just click on that until I get a good approach. Oh, apparently we were already in the same inclination. Actually, that makes sense because we just left them. Okay, now I build this maneuver to go back to rendezvous with Manticore. Once I get 2, I know I'm crossing their orbit, but the close approach is way too far apart. So I just wait however many orbits it takes, and then once it overshoots, I rewind this. And I always look at the second. The intersect 2 always seems to be easier to get than intersect 1 for me. There it is, 1 kilometer. We can fine-tune that when we actually do the burn. So now I'm going to point at that thing, add the timer, and then Kerbin usually flashes really bad, so let's look straight down. Let me see if that helps. And here we go. Adapter acquired. Now we can go rendezvous with the plane. Where is the plane that I just launched? There it is. Says target. Okay, now we go rendezvous. I guess but the plane could rendezvous with us, but I'm looking at this, so let's do it this way. Okay, by the time this actually gets to phase with the space plane, we're going to have to arrive at Minmus on the other craft. So I'm going to switch to that. We've attained orbit of Minmus. Now we have to wait for the space bus to get out here so that these things can land, because they don't have any landing power on their own. I did it that way so that the colony wouldn't have all of these like engines and fuel tanks to deal with. Although with the MKS ability to disassemble parts, I guess that it would have been fine, but it's fine. I kind of like the process of landing them with the space bus. Okay, speaking of which, we got to switch back to it and do its rendezvous. One is called Manticore and one is called Manticore Station, so I don't know which one. They get relabeled in the weirdest ways. Okay, lucky guess. Let's rename this, please. Alright, first batch of colony parts acquired. I have another batch coming up, so I'm going to point prograde and put us in a higher orbit so that we're easier to rendezvous with. I mean, I think just 100 kilometers would make this easy. Okay, here we go. And then we'll come back and land the space plane, and then we'll fly the other space plane. And I'll do the space plane stuff at 12 times time acceleration, and we'll see how that looks. I shouldn't tell you what I'm planning to do in the editing, because then if it doesn't work in the editing, then I'm lying to you, but that's what I'll try. We'll see. Here's the next plane with colony supplies, and the space bus is just ahead of us, so let's launch straight away. Deslo and Lizdoc snuck aboard. We have to revert flight. They're not supposed to be here. Okay, delivered. Now it's quite a long space train, and except for pushing it, so it's one of those backwards trains. Do we land first, or do we transfer to Minmus? I think we transfer to Minmus. Let me set that up. It's going to take 2 burns. So I'm going to adjust my transfer so that it's happening later. Yeah, that's fine. And then I'll burn... I won't quite burn that long. Let's break it into 2 pieces. It's 900 meters per second. Let's make it 450. What did I just do? I don't know, but I'm going to try again. 450 and then no radial 0. Good, that's the first burn, and then we'll swing around and do it again. Okay. We'll warp here and then set up for the second one. Alright, we have a Minmus encounter set up. I'm noticing an ominous sign, which is that we are occasionally getting yellow physics time and low frame rate with this craft while looking at planets. So that could mean that the Minmus base is going to get very... laggy isn't the right word, but a little less fun to be around. Maybe because we have just so many... heat radiators stuck all over these parts, as well as little containers. There's just a lot of little parts on this space train. And, yeah, we need them. Let's deploy the gear while we're here. There we go. Everything has its wheels out, and then we can retract those, because we don't need those. And now they're all ready for landing. Let's set up an alarm for Sphere of Influence change. So before we arrive at Sphere of Influence change, we'll have a tanker complete, a Sarnis window that we're ignoring, and a lab check. So we'll come back to this in a bit. But first, I'm going to land the plane. Okay, we apparently lost the nose. I don't really know, but we're still sort of flying. I don't know what happened. Let's see if we can make this thing stable, because the probe core is actually inside the cargo bay. I'm just kind of curious if I can land a spacecraft with a space plane without its nose. So let's just transfer this stuff in. Thankfully there's no Kerbals on this, otherwise that would be revert. I don't know what I did wrong. But that whole descent wasn't very good, so... it is what it is. Let's see if we can ditch in the ocean. Because there's no point flying it back to the Space Center, because well... It's just money that I would get from flying it back to the Space Center, and I'm not hurting for money right now. I'd rather just get it down to the ocean as quickly as possible. We've lost our canards, so it's a little harder to pitch. We have plenty of fuel to fly back if we wanted to, but I don't really want to. That explosion made me jump. Okay, I'm going to try to land this in the ocean. Alright. Well, we'll recover what remains. I don't really know. I'll have to look back in the recording when I edit. I really hope there were no Kerbals in there. I feel pretty confident that there were no Kerbals in there. Normal recovery. Yeah. Paranoia unfounded. We have 0 lost Kerbals, so that's good. It's nice to see our crew without any tourists clogging it up. Gosh, we've got a lot. We have more in space than we do here. Where are all of they? All of they? We got 6 people out at Duna. 4 people out at Gilly. Well, I guess the 6 people are at Ike right now. Ike, Gilly. These 3 are at Minmus. These 2 are at the moon. Where are Megan, Karlorf, Hadrid? Oh no, these 3 are at Minmus for the base program, and these 3 are at Minmus for the science lab, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 at Manticore space station. So yeah, that's correct. 22 in space. All right, what are we doing now? We have a quick tanker launch. Since we're always running out of fuel up in space, we might as well do a tanker launch. That's not Manticore. Where's Manticore? Up there. Let's wait until it gets in the right place. Yeah, I'll do this real fast. It's pretty routine. Just go up to the space station, refuel the tank that is already there, I think, and then return the space junk. Here we go. Docked. Time for some fuel transfers. My goodness. I'll skip through the fuel transfer part. Okay, I transferred almost all of the fuel. Let's see if we've got enough to deorbit this thing. Should. That's really light. It's got a lot of thrust now. Alright, turn retrograde. Which takes forever to do. We can use RCS to turn now that we don't care about it. And that's it for RCS, so that was exactly the right amount of monopropellant. And let's throttle up and see if we can deorbit. Yeah, oh my god, 500. I left too much in here, but that's okay. We're not gonna go fix it. Let's see if we can pick a landing site, shall we? I don't think we're gonna make it back to the Space Center, but we can try to land in an ocean. Let's try to land in that ocean there. Could have maybe gone to the Space Center, but it doesn't really matter. Alright, here we go. Well, we saved some of it. What happened to the engine? Wasn't the engine here a second ago? Why is it down there? Where are we? Vessel is destroyed. Cannot autosave. Well, I'll pick up the trash later. Can I switch to this? No nearby controllable objects. Use the map view. Alright. That's fine. That's fine. Can I at least see what's happening next? We're finishing another Vrock 6, which is good because I keep accidentally recovering them. And then I have a lab check, which I'll do on my own time. Which is it's just going to every single lab, sending the science back, filling it back up, and then taking stock of the science back at Kerbin. So I'll do that on my own time, and then we'll go back to the space bus, I think is next. Okay, the space bus pulling the space train, which doesn't make any sense with all its little wheels, which makes even less sense, is going to arrive at Minmus. Let's do that, and then I will start bringing stuff down. So let's get to Minmus first. There it is. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3 1, 2, 3, 4. I think there's 4 components on this train that need to go to the base, and then there's at least, I think there's 3 on the other ship that came out. So I'm going to do an extended time lapse of all these things going down, and I'll come out of time lapse if something unusual happens. But we're going to do a base landing party. Here we go. Well, I had a miscalculation on the landing prediction, but also we survived it, so that's okay. Let's just... get lower. Okay, that was a weird situation. Why is that thing spinning? Okay, I don't know what happened. And I don't know how to fix it, but hopefully we can push it around. It's not the end of the world if that module is a bust, though. Instead of reloading, I'm just going to carry on, and we're going to try to fix it another time. I think the reason that the landing prediction keeps miscalculating is because the nuclear engines don't actually have an immediate response. I think they take a second to get up to full thrust. That's my guess. We still have several more to do. right, that was however many, 6 trips down, 7? I lost count. Maybe it wasn't that many. Oh, we haven't had the solar panels out this whole time. How's our electric charge doing? It's fine. Oh, because we had these. Okay, that's good. That was an oversight. But anyway, I'm going to get food, and then I'm going to go back to the base, which I have christened Bastion Colony. And yep, it's definitely a little lag party down there. So I'm going to get food. I'm going to come back, and we're going to start docking stuff together. All right, we're back at what I've called Bastion Colony, or Bastion Outpost. And we've just spread like 7 pieces. I think it's 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Maybe it's only 6. But still, there's a lot of pieces lying around, and one of them is laying on its back. So we got to switch to this one and go collect them all and put them in place. Okay, let's quick save. Now, unfortunately, it means taking all of these parts that are lying all over the place and combining them into one structure, which I think will actually make the performance worse. So we'll see. We'll see how it handles it. Brakes are on. Undock. Let's drive the car forward. There we go. Okay. So let me think about what we're installing where. I think this workshop should go on this side. That's my guess. So let's target that and back up, turn off the brakes. So this module in front of us, I'm going to talk about the modules as I drive, and if I run out of things to say, then I'll fast forward. So this module is, I believe, the Tundra Workshop. Come back down, please. Right, I need to have it on fine control. That's what we learned last time. So the workshop can take certain resources and turn them into certain parts. I think. I honestly can't even remember. This is going great already. I think I've set up all these components in the VIB more successfully this time. I did a little reading in the MKS documentation that is online. Understood why I was doing everything wrong the last time I launched colony pieces. All right, let's be careful because this thing could tip over and we don't really have any reaction wheels to work with. We've got some in here, but I don't know if it's enough to stand this upright. So I'm going to put this on the opposite side of the structure. Yeah, so this will make material kits out of something else. And we will need material kits to make other things. And I don't remember if it has room for Kerbals or if the Kerbals can get in it, but that's fine. What does it say? No PDUs in range, power distribution units. Well, that's fine. I've decided to attach everything. Like, you can do it a couple different ways. You can actually share power between the MKS modules, and then you have a number of smaller bases sharing power and resources with each other. But then each base needs to be self-sufficient in order to function. And I was doubtful of my ability to actually figure that out. So I decided to make it one single large base, which is not going to be great for performance, but that's fine. Let's back up a little. And let's go forward. The low gravity is a bit of a challenge here, but it's okay. I don't know that targeting really does anything, but I can do it. Yeah, I might end up speeding some of this up because I feel like this will get very tedious to watch pretty soon. Oh, but wait a minute. actually, I'm noticing that this is a hub. So this thing has side docking ports, which will become useless if we dock right there. So actually, we should put something else there instead. I think the question is, can Kerbals go in here? I don't know. There's no door. I'm not really sure how that works, but let's leave that for now. I'm going to go pull something else, and I'm going to start fast forwarding some of this stuff. So undock that. Your brakes are on. That's good. And you're going to back up. And now, what would be a good thing to grab? Well, you know what? We should find out if that thing that fell over can be recovered. I'll fast forward us there. Okay, we're here. I could try docking to it, but then what good would that do, you know? Let's try bumping into it slowly. Yep. Let's just nudge it. Just nudge. Good, we're making headway. Nudge a little more. And we did it. Oh, we were so close. Oh. Well, shoot. Let's try that again. Let me go forward. And we'll use the front this time. Let's maybe line ourselves up a little better. Okay. Let me control from here so that I'm not doing this backwards. I said control from here. Command, control from here. That did not work. Okay, no, I'm just pressing the wrong button, apparently. Okay. Slow down a bit. We don't want to crash into it too fast. Symmetrical. A symmetrical bump. I've gotten stuck on something. Okay, I think we've done it. Back off. I think it's going to land on the right side. I don't think we have to do anything else. I think it's going to be good. All right, let's grab that one then. Control from here now. And we'll grab this. I'll speed this up. Having some trouble getting up to this one. I don't know what's going on. I just keep going forward and backward. I think we're a little bit off center. Okay, it worked. So that was just a heat radiator part. It really has nothing other than heat radiators in case I've misjudged. Since MKS and heat control are not talking to each other, I don't actually know how many radiators I need on things. Okay, let's go grab the... oops, wrong way. Let's go grab that module out there, which is a habitat module, which should explain to... if it hasn't already... If the... What am I saying? the contract that asked us to build an outpost on Minmus. If it hasn't already been satisfied, it will by this part. But this is just more living space. I'm going to go grab it. That's not so good. Come on, land on your wheels. Let's turn on torque. Control. Toggle torque. Actually, if this thing gets stuck, we can't do anything, so... Oh, I see the problem. I was turning the wrong way. Let's turn it onto its wheels. Okay. Okay, brakes. Direction wheels disabled, okay. Disabled. I disabled the reaction wheels because otherwise it just kind of leans all over the place as it moves. But then we need them if we go upside down. Okay, come on. We can do it. Okay, let's take this back and put it on the other end. All right, we're getting there. Just 2 more pieces. We can do it. I think that's it. Okay. Let's detach the tractor one more time just to have slightly fewer pieces in this thing. And we can just back it away a bit and park it. The brakes is not working. There we go. Come to a stop. Thank you. Oh, that's the other rover that is not doing anything for us. Okay, so here it is. Let's name it correctly. So, command rename. This is Bastion. Whoa. There we go, and it is a base. Except, now we should have gotten that contract now. It's giving us vessels are complete. That's fine. We've created the initial stage of Minmus base. I sure have. We'll check for more contracts for it later. Okay, we just got to go through everything and turn it all on. So let's start with this nuclear reactor. Let's extend these radiators. And then enable reactor. And then we should have heat control somewhere, right? There it is. Generated 4 kilowatts, removing 4 kilowatts. Is that correct? I'm not entirely sure, but this is working just fine. Okay, that's what we wanted to know. Okay. So the reactor is working. Now, the logistics won't work without crew, but let's activate the habitats, turn everything on in preparation for the crew to arrive. Okay, now let's set up these drills. Deploy. Start gypsum drill. That's what we want. We want to mine gypsum. Deploy. Start gypsum drill. Good. Now we want to turn gypsum into fertilizer, which I think we do here. Start fertilizer from gypsum. Now, what are we seeing here? This is all the resources that we have. Gypsum, we are earning gypsum. Are we earning fertilizer? Where even is fertilizer? We are. It's less than 0.01, but we are gaining fertilizer. Okay. I think deploy deploys the landing gear. So that's not what we want. The Duna agricultural module is supposed to be able to turn fertilizer and mulch into supplies. But that's a plant growth study. The soil from Minmus is flat, seems to have some sort of salty water. Okay, well, we'll transmit that, but that's not really what we were looking for. Deploy is just going to deploy the landing gear, right? Yeah, we don't really need that. So let's retract. So maybe it's not going to work. Maybe it needs a crew aboard. So I don't know. It says Bay 1 recipe agroponics, but it doesn't say that agroponics is working. But that's okay. So we'll leave that as it is. But we should be making fertilizer, which, if agroponics does work, will make us supplies. We can also start this habitat. We've already set that up. We've got plenty of electric charge. So I think it's time to bring the crew down and see what we can do with that. So let's make another landing, this time from Basilisk Station. Switch to. Okay, here we are. We're in the dark, but Tomden, Joffrey, and Tomfred need to come down. Where are they right now? I think they're in here. Yeah. Tomden, go into the command pod. Yes. Joffrey, command pod. It's doing it without me clicking, but that's okay. Okay, so they're all in the command pod now. We can double check by looking at all of their seats. Now this is the stupid lander that has a heat shield and a decoupler on it, so don't press the decouple button. We need to unsave the liquid fuel and the oxidizer. And I don't think we have any other We've got a little bit of liquid fuel. No, we've used it all up. So we don't have any useful fuel in this. So what this has is what it has. But I think it's going to have plenty. Let me undock, please. Undock. Good. Yeah, we've got 1,200 meters per second, so I think we're fine. Where's a good landing time? Let's turn off RCS. Let's point prograde. Get a little distance from the space station. Activate this engine. Give it a little bit of thrust. This way we don't run into it. And let's warp here. It's more efficient to deorbit on the opposite side, but this has been a little bit easier, so we'll just do that. We want to go retrograde. And where's my Kerbal Engineer? Whoops. While I was tinkering with the mod, I overburned. That's fine. Okay, let's point anti-normal. So we can go south a little bit. Looks pretty good. Radial or retrograde surface. Deploy the gear. Quick save. All right, everyone. Let's go to your new home for a while. You get to live at Bastion. Down we go. They have lots to say. I haven't been fast forwarding this, so sorry for silences. We're getting close. I want to land right next to it if I can. So now this calculation for suicide burn should work. And now it's going to load. And just like loading a space station, we're going to freeze for a little while it loads. All right, right now we're landing right on top of it, but that's okay. We'll fix that momentarily. 3, 2, 1. This is plenty close. There we go. We're here. Turn off SAS so we can settle. Okay. Turn off Kerbal Engineer. Okay. Let's retract these solar panels so that we don't have an accident. We can deploy them later. And yeah, time is moving at a decreased rate, but that's okay. Tom, Fred, you're the engineer. Go on EVA and get the base ready. Now, how do we want to get in? I think we want to get in this hatch right here, but we have to be very careful because that's right next to the solar panels, or the radiators. I didn't really make a good front door, did I? I mean, I think we can get in these hatches. Let's find out. No, we cannot. So that is not an airlock, it is just a docking port. So luckily we have an entrance right here. I'm gonna extend these radiators and retract that one for a second. Let's make sure this is on loop 1 and make sure that this is still working. Yeah, we're fine. Okay. Let's move the other 2 in. Okay, we're all aboard. We'll extend the solar panels on this now just so that it doesn't die while it's sitting there. Okay. Now, do I need things... Will things work now that there are people aboard? Let's see what happens if I put Joffrey, who's a scientist, into this part. Does it change its functionality? No, it just says Bay 1 recipe agroponics. I don't understand. Are we making supplies? Is there any way to know? It suggests that we might be. Well, no, we're using them. I'll have to wait and see. Like, it's got the correct recipe selected, but I don't know how to turn it on. So Joffrey's going to sit in there to see if... Yeah, see if she can figure out how to make it work. Meanwhile, we need this to be a logistics thing, don't we? How do I turn on logistics? I don't know. Maybe I have to put a pilot in there. So you're seeing me fumble around. Transfer crew. Transfer Tomden. No, that's not correct. Transfer crew. Transfer Tomden into this. Now I can open orbital logistics, but that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for planetary logistics, so I don't know. Somewhere in here, I have storage for minerals. Let's remember that... Oh, did that just go up? Okay, 71.97. Let's see if it goes up or down. Instead of staring at it, let's just remember 71.97, and then we'll check on it in a minute. I'm looking for minerals. Minerals. Planetary warehouse. Now, one of these things is designed to turn minerals into something. Maybe it's this one? Start metals. Minerals? No, metallic ore is metals. You know what? I'm just going to go around and turn everything on, and then we'll see. So, let's start metals. Missing metallic ore. Okay. Well then, we have to... Let's deploy all of the drills. Deploy all the drills. Deploy. 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 And meanwhile, let's take a look at supplies. It has gone down. So, agroponics is not working because we should not be using supplies faster than we are producing them. So how do I turn it on? Let's extend this radiator. I'm gonna Google. All right, I'm back. It says maybe it won't work if there's no mulch. So let me see if I have mulch yet or if there's no mulch yet. I have lots of mulch. Oh, is this going up or down? Hang on, I gotta sit. 5569. It's going up. So yeah, so the agroponics is not working. I've deployed the landing gear in case that matters. Oh, there it is. See, now that I've deployed this... that's the first time I've almost sworn on this recording. Start agroponics. Okay. It should not matter whether the landing gear are deployed, but that's just me who thinks that. Okay. Now, agroponics is working, so we should see supplies start to go up. So it currently says 7197. We'll check in on it again. 71. Yep, it just went up. Okay, good. All right, now it is working. So now our hab time, incidentally, supplies is only giving us 19 days, but our hab time is like 3 years, which is great. We should be getting lots more supplies soon. So I've deployed all of these drills. Let's keep going. Hang on, I want OBS back. Okay. All right, sorry I got grumpy. This mod makes me grumpy sometimes, but it's also amazing that I get to do this, so I'll keep it in perspective. We're going to mine ore, just in case that's helpful. I don't know that we need ore, but we can. We're going to mine dirt, in case that's helpful. I don't actually stop the dirt drill. We literally have nothing we need dirt for. Start mining silicon. Wait, I've pressed the wrong button. Okay, there we go. Start the silicates drill, and now we'll make silicon out of silicates. I'm having trouble clicking the right thing. Start substrate drill. Start metallic ore drill. Start uraninite drill. You know what? I don't think we have anything that can use uraninite, but sure, we'll start it. Now this should now be able to work on metals. So that's all of that. I don't know if smelter does anything. Start smelter. Let's check on our thermal situation. Says everything is fine, but of course those mods aren't talking to each other. Start smelter. I guess those just help. I don't know that we need that. Okay, now I need to do an assessment of what we're producing and what we're not producing. We need to check whether minerals is working. So we want to turn minerals into chemicals. Where is the start metals here? That's a duplicate of something else. That's already making metals. I've accidentally got a duplicate. I think one of those is supposed to be making chemicals. But we don't know whether we're getting minerals transported from the off-site location, because currently there's none in here. But once we start consuming it, if this is working, it will pull. But now we know that we have to deploy it, so let's deploy the landing gear, because that matters for some reason. I'm not going to worry about starting transfer credits. That's for orbital logistics. We don't need that right now. We've set this to planetary warehouse, but I don't know that that actually works. Let's get out of Kerbal. How can we do this more safely? Tomfred, transfer into here, please. Actually, even better, transfer into here, and then you can just lean out the hatch. Oh, while I'm here, let me just deploy all these radiators, because we brought all these radiators in case we needed them, and we might as well extend them. So stand by while I do that. Okay, done it. Now we're absolutely bristling with radiators, and this is probably why it's lagging. But let's get out EVA. And can we change this? Now this is what I learned. Right now it's making liquid fuel and oxidizer. Let's change it to making chemicals, and then we press this button, and now it should be making chemicals. Now I think I needed to spend something to do that, but apparently I had enough of whatever I spent, and it didn't tell me what I spent, but it spent it. So now I can, it just says start LFO though. Well, I just made a guess and clicked the top one. It says it's missing minerals. I know it's missing minerals. Let's save all of our progress here, and then let me check in on the mineral miner up here, because this thing had some problems too. Okay, so this thing has minerals on board. It's set as a planetary warehouse, so there should be, maybe I set it to both. There's minerals in there, and there's minerals in here. Okay. Now this thing is not configured correctly. This is configured as a smelter because I didn't know how to read the thing in the VAB. So these chemical storage things will never do anything. But we are mining minerals, and we are putting it in a planetary warehouse. Now, something online said that these material processing units could push resources to the planetary. You know what? Is there a logistics button? What does this do? Colonization dash planetary logistics. Minerals. Oh, there's a lot of minerals. Okay, so now that I've remembered that this button exists, let's go back to the base. Oh, man. Sure, we'll look at the Griffin lander and then we'll switch to the base from there. Okay. Where are my minerals again? Minerals. Oh, look, now there's some. Okay, now there's some minerals. So now, if I... Oh, now it's working. It's making chemicals. I can also make liquid fuel and oxidizer. I don't know whether that helps me, but I can do that. So now let's take an assessment of what's happening. We are making liquid fuel and oxidizer. We're making recyclables because we're using something. We are probably spending machinery. Our electric charge is fine. We are not making material kits. Let's see if I can turn that on. Start material kits. Missing polymers. Okay. How do I make polymers? Let me look at my list. Polymers come from substrate. So let's... I think we're mining substrate. Let's EVA. And let's configure this to make polymers. Board. Stop the LFO because we don't really need that. We're now making polymers. Okay, so we are making material. Okay, so material kits we're now making. We're not making water. We're making polymers. We are not making refined exotics, but I think that's because we... I don't remember how. How do you make refined exotics? With exotic minerals and rare metals, and I don't think we're mining either of those here. We're making metals. We're making we're mining uraninite. We're mining substrate. We're mining silicates, which is getting turned into silicon. We're producing mulch from the Kerbals. We're producing supplies. Maybe? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the agroponics load is. Right? Like, I don't know if we're using agroponics, if we're using supplies faster than we're making them or not. Does this tell me? Not really. We'll just have to find out whether the supplies goes up, it's 19 days and 1 hour. And if it goes up, then agroponics is working. And if it goes down, then we'll have to go elsewhere. But actually, that's not true because I've got a bunch of supplies in here that is going to automatically fill this when this gets low. So we'll see. Okay. We're making ore, which we're not really using. We don't need dirt. None of those things are being made. We're mining gypsum. We're mining metallic ore. We don't have any of those things. We're making fertilizer. We're making chemicals. We're using up our uranium. And we're not doing anything with monopropellant. Okay. So I think this is as up and running as it can be. The next thing that I need to do is I need to launch a mining and processing base to other parts of Minmus to pick up the other types of resources that aren't found here. Because here has ore, metallic ore, no minerals, substrate, uraninite, no water, hydrates, no hydrates, silicates, gypsum, and dirt. And it doesn't have the exotic minerals, the rare metals, the hydrates that we don't need, the water that we don't need unless we need it. Minerals, we are already trying to mine. So it's some of those other things that we have to mine elsewhere on Minmus. And that's a separate construction project. But for the time being, this is our base. Let's see. Colony statistics. I don't know what this is telling me. Local logistics. I don't know what any of this means, so I'm just going to leave that alone. Planetary logistics, we have a bunch of minerals. Colony inventory. Well, this is just the same thing that I was looking at before, but maybe with more information. Ah, yes, we are using our supplies, so we're not making supplies as fast as I would like to. Agroponics must just not be sufficiently efficient. So we'll have to keep an eye on our supply situation. But we're making all of those things. I don't know what else to look at. But what is this? This is not important right now. Wolf is for virtual bases. I think I've done everything that I can here. We're mining everything except dirt. Let's mine dirt. Might as well. Start dirt drill. Oh, and these do something. Oh, we did have polymers. Start polymers. We might as well make more polymers. Start chemicals. I didn't need to reprogram that. I just made a mistake. But that's okay. I think that's everything we can make with what we have. So we need to mine the rest of the resources from elsewhere, and then we need to bring down at least one Tundra assembly plant, which is much bigger. It looks like this, but it's a 3.75 meter part. We need to bring that down and attach it because it will have the capacity to make all of the more advanced components. And I don't know how many of those we'll need, but we'll start with one and go from there. Anyway, this is our Minmus base. Are probably badly designed, but I'm doing my best Minmus base. And I think I might cut this out if I just change my mind, but I think that's going to be it for today as well. It's hard to guess how long these are going to be, but I figure we're at that point. Thank you for joining and seeing the construction of Bastion Outpost. Tomfred, Tomden, and Joffrey say goodbye for now, and I will see you for the next one. Bye-bye.